So let's look at another example where you might choose to assign the same instrument for different values of data and what that sounds like. So in this case, let's look at something, a kind of smaller data set sample, the Mars weather report. So this is a data set from the Mars InSight mission. It's daily weather measurements. So there's temperature, wind, and pressure on the surface of Mars at Elysium Planitia. And this is a flat, plain, smooth plain near the Mars's equator. And what does the weather on Mars sound like? So that's what we're going to sonify and listen to. So in this case, in the example, the default example, we're just using an electric guitar, and then we have kind of the double bass as the date, and this is over the course of February 14th through the 20th of this past year. So let's play that one.
Mars Weather Report February 14th to February 20th, 2019.
So we're using the same instrument and then kind of playing that through. Now let's listen to an example of that with multiple instruments. So wind speed filtered by directions. In this case, we kind of just customized that and changed the instruments so each of these values has a distinct sound. So you can see the variation in sonification, the same data set, but just customizing that. And that's really based on whether you want to convey something kind of simple to convey understanding in the data through the sonification. So you recommend using just same instrument, smaller data sets, or wrangling that data to be something that you can meet the limitations of the required data tool, which meaning by like the number of rows you can upload, and then being able to experiment with kind of varied instruments, distinguishing instruments. This might create something a little bit more musical, but not necessarily be easier to understand. So think about the purpose of your sonification, whether that's to share with an audience in really conveying new meaning in that data, and also for audiences, including blind and the low vision community, or if it's an example of a project that you really want to create as a more experimental musical output. And in that case, the tool is really built to be fully kind of expressive and enable you to create really rich context for all sorts of multimedia projects. So that was a basic introduction to TwoTone. Again, you can visit TwoTone.io for all of the documentation, and or visit GitHub for more of the feature documentation to contribute to the application. And also we welcome your feedback. There is a feedback feature built within the tool, and we encourage you to follow all of the examples and tutorials that we provided on TwoTone.io. So have fun building your data sonifications. Thank you.